Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I am going to show you some more activities of the data service. So firstly, we'll try to see how we can use get entity record by ID and how we can update, and later how we can delete the record in a particular entity. So to do that, firstly, I will show you what are the activities that I'm using. So firstly, I'm querying the records based on a particular condition, and later I'm going to get the record with respect to ID, and I'm going before I actually update it, I'm assigning the values to that particular record, and then I am going to update the record. So this is what it is. Let me run it through and show you how the changes will be affected. So before to that, I'm going to the data here. So the automation anywhere is there, right? So let me change this to UiPath project. Okay, it got changed, and this one also I'm going to change. Correct. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute this workflow, which will replace or which will update the record in the entity. Okay, let me debug this. So I will show you step by step how we can do this, and also at each step what would be the output also I'm going to explain you very clearly. So okay, it has finished the execution. Let's go to the entity, and now this UI path has to be changed into automation anywhere. So this got changed, right? So actually what is happening, I'm applying the changes only on a single record. So let's, if I do it again, then the other record will also be updated, because I'm taking only the first record, whatever is there. So this is the one, right? It also got changed, and if I do it again, the other one also will get affected here, right? So as I've written the condition only for the name which contains UiPath. So wherever the UiPath is there, that name of the project will be replaced with automation anywhere. So just come and refresh. It got changed, right? Perfect. So all the UiPath projects got replaced with automation anywhere. So this is what I am going to show you how we will update the records. First, before to that, I have to talk about get entity record by ID. So let's explore what all we can learn from this video. So let's create a new workflow. So update. So firstly, we are doing query, then get and update. Okay, so all these we are going to do in this video. Okay, so firstly, in order to do these changes, what I'm going to do, firstly I have to get the particular entity. What is my entity, right? So I'm going to query this, query entity records. So we all know, firstly, from the previous videos, I have explained you how we can use the query entity record, right? So if you're not familiar with that, please watch those videos. So this will be very much clear for you. So I'm going to do the changes in the project names. So this is my entity name, project names. So this is my entity type. So what exactly the change that I wanted to see? So the name of the project is the entity type, correct? So let's go here and say name of the project, and if this equals or if this contains. So what is the difference between equals and contains? Equals means it will check exactly the same characters has to be there. It should not if it is a contains, if it's in a whole text, if it contains a part of the information also, then it would try to match the condition. Okay, so that's why I'm giving UI path, right? If it contains this, what I'm going to do, I'm taking all the values. So whatever the number of records that contains all the project names as UiPath, I'm going to take all the records here. So I'm going to give the name as UiPath projects. Okay, so just make sure that whatever the variable that you're creating here should be of the type project names. So that's why I have created a variable here only. I declared here only. So whatever it's getting created, it gets created with the same data type. So it's a list of project names, correct, right? So once after I get the list of the project names that has the name of the project as UiPath, what's the next step that I wanted to do? I wanted to get the IDs. Okay. So get entity record by ID. So this is just a thing that I made up to make you understand the things, how we can use them, how we can use the different activities. So just to have a clear understanding. So I wanted to apply it on project names, and here I should provide the record ID. Correct. So here I am getting the UiPath projects. So as I said you, it contains the list of items. Okay. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick the first item from the list. All the time I'm taking the first item, and I should provide the ID here. If you just see it, it is showing a mismatch. It is of type project name, but I should provide a GUID here. So for that, what I'm doing, I'm giving dot ID. So this will pick only the ID of that particular record. Okay. And what is the output record that it's gonna give? So let's check what is the output. Okay. So I'm providing record by ID, right? So record ID is the output. So if you just come over here and see, it gives the project names. So cool. Let's execute till here and see what we are exactly getting. Let me keep a breakpoint and we can monitor the output at each step and understand the things more clearly. Okay. So I'm running debugging this. So if you see here, I'm having this UiPath projects should contains all the list of all the records that contains UiPath project. So will be 0. Why? Because we haven't make any changes here. So there is no UiPath project in a particular entity. So let's change this. Right? Okay. Now let's stop it and now execute. We will get the 3 items in this list. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a path project. So if you see, we got 3 items into this particular list, and each as we have said, this list is of type project names. So each item inside this, so let's say if I say UiPath projects of 0, it contains the whole information about the record. So if you see, it's of project names and it contains all the information about this. So when I say get record by ID, it should actually return me this ID, right? So it should return me this particular value. So let's check that part as well. So now what I'm going to do, UiPath projects of 0, that means the first one that it has given me in the list dot ID. So this is the value that it has returned. Correct, right? This is matching. So when I say get the record by ID, it's gonna get the record from with respect to ID. Okay, so let's see, execute this also and see what is there in the output record. Okay, so what is the data type of this? Project names. So what should be in the record ID when I execute this? It should be of something like this, right? Because it's of type project names. Just execute this, and if you provide record ID, correct, right? So with respect to ID, we will get the records. What then, whatever the changes or whatever the updates that you wanted to make on that particular record, everything can be done. Okay, so it's clear, right? Now go to the next step. Now we got the record, and with respect to the ID, I have all the information about the record. Now the next step is I'm going to update entity record. So I'm going to update the entity records with respect to project names. But what I have to pass to the input record, I have to send the updated value, right? So where is my actual value? It's in the record ID. So take an assign, pull this over here. So for this record ID, what is the value? So let's say I'm going to change with respect to name of the project. Okay, name of the project is a thing that I wanted to change. So automation anywhere. I wanted to change from UI path to automation anywhere. Right now I am having under record ID, we have seen, right? Whatever the values are there under that particular record, everything I can access with respect to ID. Okay, very clearly I can access all these values. Okay, but these are the system built-in values, so I can edit only these value, right? So this particular field I can edit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to assign a new value, and this value I'm going to pass it over here. So record ID, and here I can provide updated record. So this updated record contains the values that we have updated here. Okay, so let's execute this and check it. So at each step, if you understand why we are using this particular activity, what is the need, and how we can use especially the input and output data types. So based on that only we can perform any of the actions. Okay, so yeah, we have seen it has taken the project and we have got the entity. And now from this particular entity, what I'm going to do, let's get over here. Why it's not stepping into. Okay, so now we know that record ID dot name of the project is UiPath, right? UiPath project. So what I'm doing, I'm assigning the value here. So let's do a step into. Now let's check the same thing. It has changed. The first records value got changed, and now till now it's there in the studio level only. So to reflect it in the data service, we have to update by using update entity record. So the updated value, I'm passing it over here, right? So if you see, this is my whole record, and if you see here, the project name got updated to automation anywhere. Perfect. So now let's update it in the studio data service as well. So here it is UiPath project only. Let's do a step into, and we can see the changes. Correct. So this is how we can update a particular record. So before to which we have to query it, or we can do a we can get a record by using an ID. So it's just completely depending on the requirement. To make you understand the concepts in a better way, I just build this up around so that it will be clear for you why we are using all different activities and what are the different data types that it actually deal with. So I hope this is clear for you and you can try something around it. And to get more hands-on, I'm going to show multiple examples, and also I'm going to talk about the one last activity with respect to entities in the data service, which is delete record. So that one I will explain in the next video. I think that's all in this video. So do let me know if you have tried this, if you have faced any challenges, or if you want me to try in a new way or new scenarios. Do let me know in the comments. And also, to not miss my future videos, do subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.